Well, let's see. I got pregnant one day and I went to the hospital and had this bundle, 9 pounds and 3 ounces. And then I don't think it was right away that they told me that he had a problem. I think it was after he was about 6 weeks old or something. I can't remember for sure. That's way back there now. That's a long time ago. That's 52 years ago. Yes. So anyway, then they told me that he was well, they didn't say developmentally, they said retarded. And that I should put him in Mitchell Center and forget about him. And even my sister one day told me, well, you should really, put him in there. And I said, what are you telling me? That's my baby. I can't put my baby in a place like that. Not yet, anyway. But he ended up going to Mitchell Center when he was 6 years old. And of course, we had to drive him up there, and it wasn't very nice. It wasn't a nice feeling for me. So anyway, but before he went there, I got a hold of LACL. It wasn't called that then. And I don't know how I come to do that, but I just was frustrated with my life. And I didn't know anyone that had developmentally disabled children at that point. And I don't remember who was even there. It wasn't Tom Kane yet, because he came after. So anyway, I did talk to someone, and I sort of, that made me feel better that there was other people, So anyway, that happened. But he ended up going to Mitchell Center anyway. So, and then after he got in there, he went up in January. We went up in August for his birthday to visit him, and he wouldn't even look at his mother. He'd pay attention to his grandmother and his aunts, but he wouldn't even look at me. He wouldn't have anything to do with me. He was mad at his mom. Can't say as I blame him, but anyway. So anyway, after that, we kind of, I kept saying that's unfair. People shouldn't have to go in a place like that to live, and I didn't even know what the place was about at that point, except that they were supposed to train them and whatever. So, but when you're a single parent and you've got 2 children like that, and you have to go to work and stuff like that, it's hard. So, and my mother wasn't very well, so she couldn't really look after them that much. So.
And there was no services in the community.
And there was no services. There was nothing. No, nothing from government or anything at that point. So it was kind of, that was the choice, and that was about it, whether you really wanted it or not. So then we started fighting to get them out of there. Why should they be in jail? They didn't do anything bad. So anyway, and that was a lot of years to get the services in place. You had to have the services in place. You had to have a place for them to live and everything. And that took a lot of years to get that together. So that took, Calvin was in there at least 17 years before we cracked him out of jail. They didn't really want him to go. No, they didn't want him to go at all. In fact, things kind of happened that they didn't want to let him go, and they had to do this and something or other. I don't remember all the details, but we finally thought, so I bought this van, this old brown van. We drove up there in the van and went and got him. And when we got him, he didn't have any shoes on his feet, and it was cold. It was cold. It was January, and it was cold. And so I happened to have a pair of runners in the van that we put on his feet, and where he wrapped a blanket around him to keep him warm because there was no heat in that van. But anyway, we cracked him out and brought him home.
Okay.
he couldn't walk. He couldn't hardly put his weight on his feet. His feet were curled from not using them. Oh, they said he wouldn't make it. That he was so frail, he wasn't going to live in the community. He wouldn't live in the community. But he did. It was over 20 years that he was out here. At first, he every time he went out of the house and went into a vehicle to go somewhere, he'd just hang his head like, where are they taking me back or what? I know that's what he was thinking. And then when he didn't go back and he came home, it took several months before he'd even put his head up and look around. But once he got looking around, he was looking around. In the stores and the girls and everything. He was all male, that one. But anyway, so he enjoyed his life out here. And he got to do a lot of things that he didn't do. He had the day program and they done things with him, and yeah. I knew it was right, but it was still scary because I didn't know really what to expect for sure, because we didn't get up there very often to see him anymore. It was just too hard to get far away. And so I didn't know what to expect out of him, what he would do or what he could do or couldn't do or whatever. And it was. And then it was like I didn't really know him, so I felt like, am I really doing the right thing? But I felt it was. So just kept on pulling and fighting. Every bit of it was worth it. Yes, we went through trials. We went through problems and difficulties. But at least I was here to fight for him, no matter what happened.